Hello everyone, welcome in. Welcome back to more of my playthrough of the Higurashi When They Cry visual novels. Before we get started though, just first off I want to say thank you so much for watching, appreciate it. Second off, I've had a few people tell me about a mod that can make the sprites, like the PS3 versions, and have the voice acting and stuff like that, the Japanese voices. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below. I'm already trying to look into setting up like the mod and everything, maybe for the next chapter, get that started. And also, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really, really appreciate it. Trying to keep growing the channel. And honestly, the more subs we get, the more motivation I get to, keep setting more and more time aside to just create content and everything. So I appreciate you. And now on to the game. Alright, there we go. I was worried for a second when the fun music didn't start. Good morning. Nice job yesterday, Kate-chan. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right, Keiichi-kun. Thank you very much. For Mr. Bear. Yeah, my dude did some shooting. I'm glad you like it. Don't use that as a pincushion, though. What? Weird. I wouldn't. Like, she's gonna start stabbing it over and over with pins. Please don't do that. That'd be creepy. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom. But the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. Oh, gross. There's a bucket filled to the brim with water. And unfortunately, my foot stepped right into it. Oh, you're gonna have soggy socks all day, bro. That sucks. My, now how diligent of you to mop the floor this morning. The dick move, I love it. Clomp, 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 whip, whiff. Blah. Dude, I love it. Keiichi sound flicked my forehead. Should set a more brutal trap next time, bro. Alright. Seeing that, Rena began to swoon as Mion looked on dejectedly. Is that like a... What were those, like, those bear trap thingies? Ugh. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I'd had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keiichi-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, dude, just take a nap. Mion alerted us that the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled off to their seats. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you to all the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped clean up. Well, you're busy having discussions. I actually had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay, then, this time of year, you might see some people here from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed a different tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. Do you understand? In unison, everyone replied, yes, ma'am. What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There were probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in hoping something regarding the curse had happened. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, don't spout stupid shit you think is funny, which honestly should be words to live by. And now, I was one of the ones who needed to keep their mouths shut. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing, if I do say so myself. School's out, school's out, school's out, let's go. I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everyone was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. I was really confused. I'm like, why did something interrupt you? He just interrupted himself. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. What is it? What is it? The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose, you hear? Of how confident they are. Not too bad at this game. It seemed that Rena didn't handle this kind of game very well. The rules are, the person who can match the murderer, weapon, and the scene of the crime wins. Oh, it's like kind of like Clue. There are 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. I could see that the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspect cards. Oh, a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. The locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. It's like a modified version of Clue. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see. So the cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Rip. Since the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. You'll learn as you go. You really have to use your brain. That's tough for me in games. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. That's also something I tell myself all the time. The rest you can figure out by playing. So, Mian, what's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mian. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with a gopher penalty? You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. Oh, okay, that kind of gopher. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Why does Rika look so disappointed about that? Like she wanted some pain. Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you'll have to go buy. There you go. I'm betting Mian would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or other crazy stuff. The cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator of the correct weapon and the scene of the murder have been taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hand are innocent cards. Quote unquote. Then I'll go first since I'm club president, I guess. Well then, Mian, knife, study. You pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, then you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Oh, interesting. This actually seems pretty fun, not gonna lie. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. Oh my, all of them are here. 3 people answered when she asked if they had Mian, knife, and study. So that means that Mian and knife and study are all in the clear. Gotta jot that one down. Then I'll go. Rena, axe, lounge. Only 2 people said they had one. So it means out of Rena, axe, and lounge, one of them is correct and is part of the crime? No, wait, even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Satsuko or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards. Oh, that's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. Well, Kei-chan's next. Go ahead. Oh, wait just a little. I'm still sorting things out. My dude's taking notes. This game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh man, this feels like it's going to be tough. Bro, you got this. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. Alright, now I have the criminal. What? Already? Bro, that was like 2 things. Here I'm spinning around in circles and Mian just now raises her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan. In the infirmary with the poison. Well, Mian drew the cards from the box and we checked to see if her direct deduction was right. You were right. How? How did you figure that out? All I needed was one more hand. There were 2 hands, dude. Tell whether it was poison or a pistol. I never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison. Alright, speaking of taking notes, gonna jot that one down. I'm sure that'll never come into play. Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Ren and I were left out in the cold, though. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. I had no idea. How can you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple. What if we ended up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Guide? Oh, saucy. I can tell from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. Oh, sick burn. What? That's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Mybro during the next round. He's changed first name to Sherlock, love it. My, that sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing. Kick his ass. I just want to see bloodshed from this fight. After that, I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or 2 behind. I saw that Mian was somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking their questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. Do it, ruthless. I tossed out the simple concept of deduction and switched over to the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win at the game. Whoa, Eureka! Oh. Ah, sorry, need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Yeah, do that pooping. Chan, that's gross. Nah, man, got poop. I had them hold off the game and head down the hall. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Rena had made her way over towards me. Keiichi-kun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I winked over at Rena. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste much time, so I'll get right to the point. Rena, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback. After a moment, she hesitantly opened her mouth. Well, all losses. Why do you ask, I wonder? I could tell from how apprehensively she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. I can't figure out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. So I guess both of us will be taking that penalty. Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us. Teamwork. But how can we? I brought my lips up to Rena's ear. Whisper. Huh? Is that allowed? Probably not. Did you forget, Rena? The second rule of our society. Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah, I'll try my best. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Getting that W is important. Our plan of attack was a quite rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under the desk, nobody would know. We'd begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we need to investigate less. Use your noggin. With this sort of plan of attack, we start for the big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this we can probably win. We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Rena was the corrupt senator. Pleasure doing business with you. Then let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It'd be like flat out telling them we made a little arrangement. Oh, sorry, and then what should we do? Go back at me, Rena. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. My dude's taking a deuce. Rena turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If me and her wanted to suspect something, then there could be problems. Well, they'd figure out sooner or later, because both Rena and I would start winning over and over again. Both Rena and I will have earned enough points to avoid being losers by the time Mion realized what was happening. Excellent. Not bad at all. Maibara-kun, may I have a moment? Huh? It's the teacher. Man, things are just getting good. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. What a weird joke, man. Come on. Like, that was a corny joke I would make, but that's even bad for my standards, and my standards are pretty low. They have been waiting. Please hurry. It was rather unfortunate that I had someone waiting on me right before my big match, but I was more interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Oh, what up? Waiting here, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. Are you Maibara-san? Keiichi Maibara-san. There was no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was without a doubt the first time he had met me. Ever since I met Tamataki-san, I've been running into so many middle-aged men. Weird thing to say. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. It's a bit hot here, don't you think? Dudes, if somebody just comes up and talks to you, and they're like, hey, I got AC in my car. Come talk to me in there. Don't get in their damn car. Bruh. Don't do it. The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car parked near the gate and began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some old geezer I didn't even know, and he was asking me to get in his car with him? See, there you go. He's being smart. I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about. Even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. That's for sure. This is just a real car. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioners were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please, let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and start my own line of questioning. Smirt. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from this expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker, starting with yours, Maibara-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. It's Tamataki, okay. This is Tamataki-san? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tamataki-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. But did something just flash on the screen, or am I going crazy? I'm gonna have to go look at that later. I swear something flashed on screen and it's freaking me out. I don't like that. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Watanagashi, we spoke. They seemed pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Just go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus, I replied to that silence in kind. I was pretty sure, no, certain, that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking me about Tamataki-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, my Barasan? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oeshiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? Question mark. If you don't, then that's fine. Oh, I was reading that, Keiichi. I thought it was Keiichi for a second. Well, I have heard of it. Tamataki-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happen in the day of the Watanagashi ended in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tamataki-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know of that, well, curse, my Barasan? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in the picture is dead. Whoa. I like the music change there, dude. That was really good. Alright. My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tamataki-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, my Barasan? Implications? Not any yet. Except for, It's Always Sunny. The boat is the implication. I haven't watched It's Always Sunny in so long. I need to catch up. Not any for the cause of his death or the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi. Meaning, this year, the curse of Oeshiro-sama had once again... The death of Jiro Tamataki is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. Might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. I didn't like that music, man. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn of something I shouldn't. Or at least, that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope, on the shoulder around there. There are a few streetlights on that road. Its pitch-black darkness was only broken by lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tamataki-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tamataki-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. Whoa. But from a knife or something? Dude, the audio cues in this are spot on. I love it. It's creepy. No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was with his own nails. Huh? What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder, it was suicide. This is sus. Tamataki-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat, as hard as he could with his own nails. He tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tamataki-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. Still clawing. Then, as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Blood splattered on the ground around him. As he bled, while gasping for breath, he collapsed. His body spasmed and he died in agony. That sounds painful. We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this, it was a suicide? I've never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died, in these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tamataki-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. Dead wrong. You see what I did there, because he died? Yeah. That was so dumb. That was a horrible joke. Even bad in my standards, and again, my standards are low. There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we continued that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. Wounds on his hands matched the discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces where he struck trees and the guardrails with it. Tamataki-san's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries, which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tamataki-san. There is a high probability Tamataki-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there may be multiple suspects. To summarize, Tamataki-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began mildly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m. Wait, weren't they still hanging? Wait. How late were they talking? I thought they were talking until like 11 p.m. Was I wrong with that? Oh, no. Oh, okay. I guess they did. I guess he didn't get home until 11, maybe. I thought it was later. Meaning, it occurred right after you finished talking to Tamataki-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tamataki-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that. Oh, yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work, and she hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I can only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tamataki-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. Yeah, they were becoming bros really quick. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oishiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tamataki-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me, because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? I should have been angry that was the reason you wanted to hear what happened from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tamataki died from Oishiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed far off into the distance. The night of the Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos, angering Oishiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. That there's no way Oishiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tamataki-san. Tamataki-san had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. Ho 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 ho. That's how this must be, my bro-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tamataki-san nor I believed in curses. With the way things were going, it would just end up with Tamataki-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tamataki-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tamataki-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tamataki-san could have been cursed by Oishiro-sama. But there's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, he's talking in the future tense. Things or people or rumors. Anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mired near deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tamataki-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. Oh, that's right. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well. Especially from Sanazaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Sanozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friends' names brought up so abruptly and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. Fair. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. That there's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? First it was the dam construction foreman. Then it was a villager that supported it. Those the village held a grudge against died one after another from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So, the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about that housewife after that? Did she die just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. And what about Tamatake-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. Was he killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. Then next year's victim, there's going to be picked out of the village outsider pool? It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by... I think he's talking about you, bro. I think he's talking about you, my dude. Swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof of that. Enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sanozaki family led the dam protests. Quite fervently so. This is also true of Mion Sanozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I've heard of her family leading the protests, though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with a string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that I understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry about the villagers who blindly believe it's the curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with a curse. He was definitely going to be caught by police and made to pay for his crimes. And none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry? It's a good way to look at it. I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, as insipid as it was, but it couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine? I'm Mr. Oishi from the Okinomiya police station. You can call me Kura-chan if you want. Ah, no, Oishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was a spitting image of a vulgar police officer. Though I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click, and in streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Maibara-san. There is enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything, but I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. Well, clearly after playing that card game, you're not a detective. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Maibara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tamatake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was the possibility of a village conspiracy? Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved? Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Rena, Satsuko, or Riki-chan. It was a group that attacked Tamatake-san? Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's Michan, the perpetrator. Oh my god. The timing. Huh? I was startled to hear Ren's voice. With the rope in the lounge. Nope. Got him. No. Rena clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over here. Wow. Ah, Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame. just a shame. Well, it's pretty heated over here. It's getting pretty late. Let's make the next game the last one. If I remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points. How? Oh, how'd you get the -1? The heck? Her score's lower than mine and I wasn't even playing. That's actually sad, dude. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Rena alone or by both Keiichi and Rena. Yeah, right. Just let Rena do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we'd both win. I waited all this time, you know? That's actually true. I'm sorry about that. I followed my initial plan of showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. That makes sense. Give her a point. I got it. The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it? My, Rena. Quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh. Rena's correct. Oh, got him. Oh, Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Penalty time, penalty time. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Yeah, dude, like, you got nothing there, man. Then that's game. It's me, Mion Samizaki, ranked first. And dead last are Keiichi Maibara and Rena Ryugu. Everyone applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. What do I have to go buy? Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what we'll be buying for the gopher penalty. Well, what shall we make us buy, I wonder. Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your name, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Well, there's a lot written here. A lot? Damn it, what's she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. What the heck is this? It's just like a shopping list. It looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Me was certain she was going to win today. So she literally just played the game to get somebody to do her shopping for her. That is a big brain 4D chess maneuver. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks. This is just your grocery list. Yo, that's actually amazing. I promised myself that one next time I'd make her go buy my hemorrhoid cream in general, not mine. Hopefully he doesn't have hemorrhoids. That's young, bro. Gotta take care of that. I can definitely tell the chapters are like starting to get a bit longer too. I don't think I've really slowed down with like reading, but it just seems like there's more. Which, oh no, that's the end of this chapter. Never mind. I thought that was the halfway point, so I stand corrected. New tips. Okay, let's see it. Hypothalamic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails, not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also matches. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. Odd that would be specifically the back. Tamataki's fingernails had been pulled out. Ooh. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nails. Is it? No. Oh, I don't know. Ow. But it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Alright, completely off topic here, but has anybody actually had that, like where a nail fell off or anything like that? I did once when I was younger. I had my hand like slammed in a car door, and one of my fingers was like very bruised up, and my fingernail was like coming off. It is painful. It's painful, my dudes. Also, there were a lot of bruises on Tamataki's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. Is it possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that the sane individual couldn't possibly imagine? Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Oishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon, they only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibers or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants. Or it could be that they took the plank he was fighting back with. In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. Har 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 har. That's true. Tamataki's pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right. He was pretty active. I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side. Meaning he'd be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable that wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. The guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once. Yeah, you would think. That would make sense. To surround and take down someone of his physique, I wonder how many people it would take. You dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I'd guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there were quite a few perpetrators, so any drunken, disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspicious. A group of 4 or more. Just, if they had that many, couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. That's under serious consideration on my end, too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Oishi-san, the chief is calling you. Thanks, see you around. Yeah, best wishes. Are they at like a diner or like in the office? I'm assuming they're in the office, never mind, since he got called in for chief. Alright, search notice. Jiro Tamatake, deceased. Resided in cheap hotel in Shishibone City. Registered under the name Jiro Tamatake. Pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of a forest path. I like that page turn actually scared me. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano, was seen around 9 p.m. by police, location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of a wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba, along the Sobu National Railway line. No individual matching name Jiro Tamatake in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Huh. Compare teeth to dental records. Send the Metro Police. Attach a photo. Send the Metro Police. Contacting magazines regarding Jiro Tamatake. Miya Takano, missing. Nurse at Erie Clinic. Became close to Tamatake through her passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Okinomiya Redacted District, Redacted, single. Witnessed accompanying Tamatake on the festival grounds, currently missing. Abducted? Or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy. Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Oishi. The most important note at the end. Get those creme puffs. Alright, back at school. Sleepy mood. Like 90% of my life. Whoa, that was a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat. Doesn't look like I can do it today. I was watching TV until late last night. I'm so tired right now. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you love so much on last night? How extremely vile. Don't jump to conclusions. It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Oh, poor Keiichi. Could you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. My dude needs a nap. Ma, you think I would just sit here and allow that? I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. Yawn. I don't want to yawn because then I'll start yawning and just be tired. This was just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slumped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satsuko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Satsuko-chan. Keiichi-kun fell asleep. His sleeping face, so cute. You can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over there. It'd be rude to Keiichi if we bothered him now. Rika-chan really is a good girl. Aw. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Oichi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Just spending a day like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tamatake-san didn't happen at all. It made me think, was Oishi-san just trying to deceive me? But it was probably the truth. One thing was certain, I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be of any help, I probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. Ended up with me again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I had never learned about it, I would, without a doubt, be goofing off with the rest of them right now. I couldn't help but resent Oishi-san for this. Huh? When was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. It appears he vanished from the night of the Watanagashi. Mion whispered to keep others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Rena's voice was even harder to pick up, but I could still tell that she was quite upset. It couldn't be. Are they talking about Tamatake-san? Itake? Itake? Tamatake? Oh, okay, it's probably Tamatake at the end there. Not sure. That's all I know. I would have to feign ignorance about this topic because I need to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier just to sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in on their discussion. Wait, why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. Oof. So, and me, there are others, right? Too? But they don't know if it's from the curse or if this was an Onikakushi. Onikakushi? Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon? What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. There was another, right? Right? If it's Oshiro-sama's, yeah. But, this year at all? Grandma and the mayor had talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing it, someone had... them, you mean? Maybe. Next could me, I wonder. Don't worry, you got home safely. But is not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. The entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term Onikakushi, to be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I would guess it's similar to being spirited away. I suspected that was what it meant because Tamataki-san, that woman, really bugged me that I don't know her name, vanished after with Tanagashi. The next thing that stuck out was when Rena said, "There's another one, right?" Mian also said, "If it's Oshiro-sama's, yeah," responding to something. If it's Oshiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? Come to think of it, I remember Mian saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of Onikakushi. It seems that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and they were phenomena that were paired together. Oh, blood! I recalled Tamataki-san's terrible end. That wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. That horrendous end would best be described as cursed. Then, the woman with him, it means she vanished because she was demoned away? What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. And the last point that bothered me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For what reason, I didn't know. However, she knew that something had made her a potential target for Oishiro-sama's curse. If I recall correctly, Oishiro-sama would be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Oishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. But if that was the case, then I would think that I'd be the more likely target, having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I could infer that she was grimly certain that she would be next. I should probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san. Informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friends while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I had fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. Aw, and now fun time. Dude, that transition to like the fun, upbeat music with the depressing, just like, you know, sadness and life-altering stuff that Keiichi's thinking about right now, and the blood on the screen to happy, fun music. Just great. Keiichi-san, you must awaken. In the distance, I could hear the ring of the handbell signaling the start of afternoon classes. Yeah, I couldn't sleep at all. I hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. It was in that moment when I leaned against the back of my seat. Ugh! There was a thumbtack stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Ooh, ow. Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. I furiously jumped up from my seat, and I tripped as if my feet were tangled up. Dude, she got him. My shoelaces had been tied together. Damn, she really got him. And then, not bad, Satoko. While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence and able to pull off this fine piece of work. The teacher came in right as I was about to pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Just like spear her. Oh ho ho, did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Clomp clomp, wish, whiff. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Blah, Keiichi-san is being mean. Hey, don't pick on the younger kids, my Burke. Apologize, sir. I saw Satsuko stick her tongue out at me, that little brat. Come on, my Burke-kun. Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry, Satsuko-san. In any case, I apologize, even if it was in a completely insincere tone of voice. Damn her, I'll remember this. Yeah, that she really got him. That's actually cool. Kei-chan, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat. I sat down after Mian told me to. She'd switched to class representative mode. With the boring classes finished, school was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for our club today? Personally, I would like to play that deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play last time because of Oishi-san. Bren and I weren't even able to test out our strategy. That's right, today Keiichi-kun and I will be victorious. What should we do? We've never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not try asking me? Mian looked over her shoulder as we made eye contact. She slowly tapped her palm with her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops, I completely forgot I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you a little goody two-shoes? Sorry, really. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man is heading back home now. Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help at her uncle's shop in town. Ah, I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. Oh yeah, get that bag, get the bread. I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from there. But that, wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? Listen, man, you got work, you got work. There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So, we're done today, I guess. Wouldn't be fine even without the club president? Let's do this. I opened the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from that ever-growing pile of games. Ah, here it is. The deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. At the very least, I wanted to repay Sadako for what she did during the afternoon break. I do not mind, but is that fine for Ren-san and Rika? If Keiichi-kun wants to so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that, I wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy soy sauce and other things. Soy sauce. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. What's this now? Everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities. Well, if not everybody's together, it kind of, throws off the vibe. If I kept on trying to push the matter, it may make them realize I had a trick up my sleeve. Ah, well, I'll give up this time. Man, I really was looking forward to playing it. I shuffled through the cards as if I was still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Oh, ho, ho, ho. The murderer is Satoko. The murder weapon is the pistol. It was you after all. Well, what did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards on the desk and stuck out 3 of them at me. The murderer is Keiichi, in the lounge with a rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you like this. These two going at it is great. No, Keiichi-san is such a beast. Oh, phew. Well, I guess it's good that I got that out of my system. Wah, I'll remember this, Keiichi-san. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. How unfortunate. Ahaha, cute. Cute. Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. I suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion. Satoshi. Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one has the name of a club member. Does this mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in the class named Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class roster stuck up on the wall. Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika-chan had already headed merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Rena, there must be quite a few people who transfer from the school, right? I tried asking Rena in a bit of a roundabout way. Rena made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah, Hinamizawa is a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry, I don't really know. There was a bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year, I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. So I didn't hear much about him. I'm sorry. Fair. Makes sense. I'm not sure. Sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Though I do appreciate that they kept that unsettling curse thing from me. But if everyone is worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment, I wondered just what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance. That's some deep thoughts there, man. Keiichi-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her. Ah, sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I'm just feeling down about it. I rustled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. I wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I didn't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long, outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiichi-kun, are you tired, maybe? Maybe? Rena timidly questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made the situation even more unsettling. You think so? Yeah. You seem to have been a little out of it ever since this morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. It may not seem like it, but I've had perfect attendance since elementary school. Nerd! Actually, no, that is, I guess, good, but it's tough. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer. It could be that the fatigue from moving has finally caught up to you. It's completely different from where you used to live, after all. Of course, you've gotten tired, since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has to be. Rena was also like that at first, too. I can tell, you know? You know? I wondered if Rena also experienced a slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking so, I felt that she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about when you first came to Hinamizawa. How was it? Feeling I had been drawn into the conversation, her face suddenly brightened. Ah ha ha ha. It was the same as Keiichi-kun. I didn't know the villagers' names at all. Mi-chan and the rest were all very kind, so I wasn't lonely, but I did still feel a little out of place. Rena told me all the details of when she moved here. All of her first acquaintances and surprises, worries and good times. So, Sadako got you too? Yeah. There was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. Then with that, yeah, that really takes me back. When were you invited into the club? The first day? Nah, there wasn't a club at the beginning. It was formed partway through. One day she said we should stay after school and hold a big game tournament. Come to think of it, Mion did say she was the first club president. Now I get it. This is a secret, but Mi-chan used to be really bad at the beginning. She'd never win. Huh? Mion, really? I can't even imagine that. She had to do most of the penalties that she came up with. Ah ha ha. Seriously, don't tell. I can't believe Mion was like that. So she gradually transformed into a monster who used any means necessary to win during that time. Practice makes perfect, I guess. Mion is at her best when she's fighting dirty. I began making more friends besides Mi-chan after that, but yeah, it might have only been since you moved here that I had finally felt like I had gotten used to it here. Aw. I guess Rena had also been left in the dark about Orishiro-sama when she had just moved here. I guess when they finally told me about Orishiro-sama, I'd be considered one of them. I wonder when I'll finally be considered one of them. Huh? Did you say something? No, sorry, just talking to myself. Haha, Keiichi-kun, you're silly. Rena was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then, after making up my mind, I spoke. Hey, Rena. Is there something that everybody is keeping from me? Huh? No, not at all. You're lying, aren't you? I don't like where this is going. Rena suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense. What do you mean by that, Keiichi-kun? Her tone was still the same cheery and light-hearted one as before. You are, aren't you, keeping something from me? After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash. But she came back at me in a way I didn't expect. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's horrifying. Well then, Keiichi-kun. I'm gonna try to do like a creepy voice too. I don't know, man. Voices are weird. I just don't want to continue because this is scary now and I don't like it. Well then, Keiichi-kun. Aren't you keeping something from us? Huh? Her tone didn't change, but it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Rena. I don't like this music either, man. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Rena. Aren't you? Lies or secrets? Aren't you? You are. Secrets. She didn't actually say that part, but she looked as if she did. The incident with Tamataki-san and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it, there were things I knew that I felt guilty about. But I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tamataki-san to be considerate. I was keeping it a secret just the same way they didn't tell me about Orishiro-sama. Then, aren't we even? No, I'm not. No lies. Nor secrets. Liar. Her answer was instant and it shook me. Rena stared as if burning through me. watching me like a hawk. Why would you say I'm lying? Didn't you say that you were called into the teacher's room yesterday during the club meeting, Keiichi-kun? I know. You didn't go to the teacher's room. I swallowed hard. It clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. The teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? But you didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside of the car near the school gate. With some man we don't know. Rena knew everything. Dude, like, I'm getting chills. I don't like how this build-up is, man. I don't like it. It's too good. She knew that I was called out by Oishi-san and that I heard about the incident with Tamatake-san as well. Did she know all of it? Exactly who was that man? I don't know him. Why did someone you don't know have business with you? I want to know that myself. Then what did you talk about? It has nothing to do with you guys. It was a lie. Oh. Lies. Rena's scream echoed through the trees. Oh, I'm not even gonna attempt to, like, scream that out, man. That's horrifying. Sending frightened birds into the air. I'll always remember that scene from the anime, dude. Like, that's also part of the reason why I was nervous, because I didn't know what was gonna happen with that jump scare. I don't know, man. Even knowing the story, like, this is just, I'm having so much fun playing this, because I don't know what to expect sometimes. Oh, okay. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I had just taken. No, it was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realized. The person in front of me, she wasn't Rena Ryugu. Then, who was it that was standing before me now? Who had assumed Rena Ryugu's appearance? I had held my breath for so long I could feel myself suffocating. Right? And then she made a facial expression that Rena normally might have made. It didn't matter that was Rena's usual smile. It chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. I felt her breath against my face. It wasn't the least bit exciting. Whoever this was with Rena's face was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. Then she smirked as if she was able to see right through me. We also have secrets, just like how Keiichi-kun has secrets. It was Rena's usual smile, but her eyes were still like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump into my nose, she kindly persuaded me. I couldn't nod or shake my head. The person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Rena, frightened me to my core. I was terrified knowing that she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Let's go. It's getting chilly. It was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. When I was released from her gaze, my legs gave out from under me and I slumped into the ground. I wasn't able to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight. Who was that? I felt cold. My body was drenched in sweat. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and ask myself once again, who was that person who looked like Rena Ryugu? Yo. Ease me out, man. I don't like it. Oh, is that the end of the chapter? Is that like halfway point? I don't know. I would be perfectly fine if there's more. I want to keep this chapter going. Okay. God, dude. I was out of it and couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. That was someone else who only looked like Rena. That's some dangerous thought process, my dude. Then, unless, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. But, like, ugh. Then who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling. Maybe she just got pissed off at you, dude. It happens. Just, sans the crazy look and voice, but she could still just be mad. Knowing that there was someone else, not Rena, so tomorrow I shouldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head, though those thoughts continued swirling in my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses. I heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the steps. Keiichi, it's a call from the bookstore. Bookstore? Can't think of why they'd be calling me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway. My apologies for calling so late at night. It's me, Oishi of the Okamiya Bookshop. Smooth. Oishi-san? Oh, it's Oishi-san. Sorry, since your parents picked up, I said it was from the bookstore. It puts people off when I say I'm a police officer. Oishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. That makes sense. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. I brought the cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to my room on the second floor. Sorry for calling so late. That phone number on the piece of paper I gave you yesterday was the old number. My apologies. Can you copy down the number I'm about to give you? Ah, yeah, okay. He gave me a number for his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk and it was pretty hard to hang up. So how has it been, Maibro-san? Did anything strange happen recently? I see. This was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversational skills left me slack-jawed. Are you from around here, Oishi-san? Yeah, I am. Born and raised in Okinomiya. If he's from around here, he might know. Oishi-san, do you know what this Onikakushi thing is about? I believe that's when somebody suddenly vanishes because they've been abducted by a demon. It's a special saying from around here. It has the same meaning as a spirited away like everyone else says. Whereas my friends would say they didn't know when I asked, this older man gave me a direct answer. It made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything. Hinamizawa was, not sure if I should tell you this, my bro-san. Don't try to play this off. If you're not going to talk, then I'm not going to tell you anything. Ah, no. That's not what I meant. It's just, it may make you feel bad. You see, long ago, Hinamizawa was feared as the village where demons reside. Demons? By demons you mean those pitchfork-carrying things in hell? More like human-eating monsters. Don't like the music. Don't like this music at all. They'd go down to villages, snatching people up and gobbling them down. That kind of tale. Demons snatching up people is what this Onikakushi really means. They said that the curse and being demoned away happened together. What does... sometimes I get so lost I don't know who's talking. What does that mean? I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years in a row. But I didn't know there were people disappearing for those same 5 years. The curse and being demoned away happened together. First time I've heard of that. Is that how it is, my bro-san? That's what I want to know. I heard Ren and Mion talking. They said that if it was really Oishiro-sama's curse, then both the curse and demoning away would happen. Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind. My bro-san, do you know the first incident? The murder by dismemberment? Yeah. One of the 6 perpetrators is still on the run, right? Hypothetically. What if he isn't on the run, but was demoned away? Oh, yeah, good point. Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Oishi-san. The incident 4 years ago is the particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. They staked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent. Never know. Even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off. Then what about the incident the next year? When the man who supported the project and his wife both died in an accident? Well, actually, it was only the husband who died in an accident. His wife's body never surfaced. Unless we find the body, then it's considered a missing persons by law. At the time of the incident with the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch off the main stream on the river for dozens of miles, but in the end they weren't able to find her body. But that's just them not being able to find the body. She's still dead, right? Isn't it different from her being demoned away? We cannot say someone is dead without their body. Until a certain number of years pass by law, she's treated as still alive. I'm not sure if it's right to call that being demoned away. The wife is missing. At least that part was reality. How about the 3rd year? The Shinto priest died of illness, and his wife committed suicide? My bro-san. That's actually the exact same scenario. The wife had supposedly thrown herself into a bottomless marsh deep in the forest around Hinamizawa. Meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note in front of the marsh. So they never found her body either. The diver was able to recover a few remnants, but they weren't able to find a body. The investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere. And I'm not sure if we could call these cases being demoned away. It's just as you said, every year one person does go missing. The incident this year, the one with Tomitake-san, has gone missing. Then what about the incident with the housewife beaten to death? Who went missing? I believe the perpetrator was caught, right? Yeah, we arrested him. He was just a miscreant with a record of narcotics abuse. He admitted to the crime while being questioned about a different incident. But, well, you see, after he was arrested, a child from the victim's home went missing. It's still under investigation as to whether disappearance had anything to do with the crime. But you said you caught him, right? Did he have an accomplice? No idea. It's considered a separate case. Moreover, we can't even check now, because while under investigation, that man, he died in his holding cell. He swallowed a spork and choked to death. Look, this is like an intense conversation, but just imagine what a shit way to die. You swallow a spork. Of all like eating utensils, a spork. God, wasn't there freaking like Sporky or something in a Toy Story movie? I don't remember. I don't think I saw that one. But that's all I'm thinking about now is just like that thing choking you to death. God, it's horrifying. It's not known whether it was an accident or suicide. Back to real talk. Meaning, for the last 5 years, there's always one person who dies and one who goes missing. That's about right. No, actually, I'm surprised as well. I never realized they had that in common. I couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of these incidents. It was just something they had in common. Could it be that those deemed away have something in common? Oishi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarized the events. The first year was the dam employee. Second year was the wife of a dam project supporter. Third year was the wife of the Shinto priest. Fourth year was the victim's family's child. And the fifth year was the victim's girlfriend, I guess. Doesn't seem like there's anything that connects them. With the exception of the first year, wives and girlfriends, those do stand out. It does seem like there are a lot. And that means the fourth year's victim's child was different. It would have really stood out if it were all married couples. Except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. Come to think of it, I believe Tamataki-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly. The child that went missing in the fourth year, who were they? Apparently he was quite mature, 1 year older than you. His name was Satoshi Hojo-san. Huh? Satoshi? I remember that name. Didn't they tell me Satoshi transferred out last year? He was at your school up until last year. Didn't they tell you anything about him? Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Then where I sat once belonged to the one who was deemed away. It was his seat? Yo, that is creepy. I recalled the cold sensation that came from that desk. It made my hair stand on end. The string of mysterious deaths. No, Oishiro-sama's curse. I now knew how it connected to me. That chilling sensation. It was the feeling of Oishiro-sama caressing the back of my neck. Ugh, don't say that. That makes me cringe. Not cringe, but like cringe in a non-cringy way, but a creeped out way. Oishiro-sama's curse, huh? Could Oishiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it, and I was scared. That was why I wanted to say it was a plot crafted by a man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. If I kept digging, eventually, I'd reach the point where I'd learn something I really shouldn't know. To either be none the wiser or to seek an answer I may regret. Which one would I be happier with? Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution could only be delayed for 1 year. That was when I remembered. Rena. Rena said she may be the next victim of the curse. You mean Rena Ryugu-san? She transferred in last year and she's your classmate, isn't she? These incidents really might be a bit too disturbing for a girl. She's not just scared, is she? It wasn't that. She said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason behind it. It felt like she was convinced, almost as if, you could say, she was frightened. Her sudden change in demeanor. That someone who looked like Rena, but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. All the strange things that I felt from Rena today came back to me. I see. Then I'll be doing a bit of investigating on this end. Please continue your observations of Ryugu-san, my bro-san. Are you asking me to keep Rena under surveillance? That's not what I mean, my bro-san. I just want you to watch out for your friend so she doesn't end up the next victim. At that moment, just my mouth was agape because I was so impressed with his mature, clever way with words. Knock, knock. A sudden knock at the door sent my heart racing. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver. Keiichi, get the door, please. On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? It's so late. Sorry, my dad just came in. Can we leave it at this for tonight? Yeah. My apologies again for calling so late. If you find out anything else, please let me know. I'll tell you if I make any progress on this end. Well then, have a pleasant evening. Keiichi, hurry and open up. Daddy's got his hands full? What is that doing? I love his dad, dude. His dad's so weird. I had stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. Right, you're way too young to have aching joints. When I opened the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray. On that tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea. A fairly fancy spread for our household. There was even sugar and lemon slices on the side. Everything you could ask for. It sounds delish. That was quite the show of hospitality. Well, what's going on, Dad? What's all this for? Come now, don't play around, Keiichi. I'm coming in. Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face. But for my entire life, I'd never seen him act this hospitable. What had gotten into him? So, what were you talking about? I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father, but how could I explain to him I was talking to a detective, I'm assuming it was, this late at night? Then nothing much, just a friend. I don't mean the phone. She was here, wasn't she? I don't like the music changes. Freaks me out. Rena-chan. Huh? She wasn't here. Come now, don't try to keep it from me. She just came over to play. You two were chatting away, so I thought I'd bring some tea, but looks like I just missed her. I had no idea what Dad was talking about, but a cold sweat dripped down my back. How long were we talking? Rena-chan went upstairs about half after, so it was close to an hour, I guess? You saw her come up to the 2nd floor. Yeah, I did. I also told her that your room was the door down the hall up the stairs. Rena came to my house about an hour ago. Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the 2nd floor. I probably didn't hear him because I was so focused on my conversation with Oishi-san. I didn't reply, but he knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside. Then told her my room was on the 2nd floor. She thanked my dad and went upstairs. Then about an hour passed. She passed by my dad just as he was bringing up tea and left. She came upstairs and about an hour passed. Then passed by my dad and returned home. Then after she came upstairs and until she left, where was Rena? There's only a short hallway between my room and the stairs, meaning Rena had, for about an hour, in the hall. No, she couldn't have been standing in front of my door all that time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. You could easily hear everything being said inside. All of the ominous things and all the nonsense I spoke to Oishi-san about began rushing through my head. Honey, don't tease him. More importantly, you need to clean up your studio. It's a mess again. Mom yelled up at Dad from downstairs. Dad left the tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed chortle. I followed my dad out of the room with my eyes. I looked down at the floor around the doorway here, where Rena might have stood all that time. Just now, as I was talking to Oishi-san with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away the whole time. All that time in this dimly lit doorway. What did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As a steam from the 2 teacups ominously wafted and twisted, the aroma of black tea filled my room. Oh, okay. I was like, why is it getting brighter, man? It's freaking me out. Though, the, ambience in this game, like the noise and the music and everything, with the way the words are on there and how they're presented, I should say, how they're written and how they actually pop up on the screen, it's very unnerving. Even knowing, I know this story, but there's the intricacies of the game that I don't know, but I also don't know how everything's presented in the game, and it's freaky and I don't like it. And by I don't like it, I mean it's freaking amazing. July 1st, 1982. To Departments 1 through 12. Redacted Prefectural Police Headquarters. Director General redacted. To the Chief Constable and all facility managers. Regarding cases situated in the Hinamizawa village, notice. All cases in Shishibone City, Hinamizawa village have been reported by certain sections of mass media. It has drawn global attention, which is causing serious repercussions for the local residents. This has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood and prosperity of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinamiya Station, 1982, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village House Waste Murder, dated June redacted. Okinamiya Station, 1982, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village Student Disappearance, dated June redacted. 2. Non-disclosure of information. Okinamiya Station, 1979, case number redacted. Hinamizawa Village Site Foreman Murder, dated June redacted. Shira Station, 1980, case number redacted. Shira Natural Park Falling Incident, dated June redacted. Okinamiya Station, 1981, case number Hinamizawa Village Shinto's priest wife's disappearance, again in June. 3. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of sensitive information. Please see attached reference materials 1, 2, and 3. Management, redacted Prefecture Police Headquarters. Internal line, redacted. Police Affairs Department. More redacted stuff. I can finally click it. It was just like a typewriter for a bit. Alright, let me absolutely save. Alright, we're at the end of chapter 8. Inching slowly closer to the end of the Onikakushi chapter, which is awesome. Like, this is getting really intense now. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see, like, again, I know the overall story of what happens, but I can't wait to see how everything plays out, because it's still hitting me really hard and it's still super spooky. So again, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It'd be awesome and make me super happy. And again, trying to build up, so it will give me more of a push to make more content on here and kind of put a bit more time into videos and stuff like that. Just try and balance everything out with work, life, all that fun stuff. But yeah, so until next time, you guys have a lovely day, night, evening, whatever it is for you, and